Hey, today I'm going to show you how I made this sock. I did a 3x1 scallop top rib on the cuff, and then I started my dual feed on the leg and foot with the also contrasting heel and toe. The colors I used for my dual feed are both by Freckled Whimsy. It's her February and March colors. Let's see. February, You Make My Heart Smile, the Self-Striping Club, and then March, my birthday month, Wisteria Mist. Love both these colors. And then my contrast color is by On the Round, and the color is Fireworks. So you're going to want to prepare your needles for the 3x1 ribbing, taking out every 4th needle. I did about 5 rows of waste yarn, and now I'm going to start E-wrapping with my contrast color on the first green needle. I don't want to wrap too tight because then it's kind of hard to crank that first row around. This is your first time E-wrapping. I've been doing it for a bit and it can still be a little, I don't know, clumsy trying to manage the yarn, wrap the needles, crank around. I guess one thing about doing it on the Lamb in the cylinder mode is everything is done right in front of you. But like anything else on the other machines, it just becomes muscle memory. I probably forgot to mention in my other videos, but I am knitting with a 60 cylinder on my Lamb. That's primarily all the socks that I make on it. If I were to do like a fully ribbed sock, like the leg and the foot, I would do that on my 72 cylinder. On the 60, it's just too narrow and tight for me. All right, so I just E-wrapped the last one. I'm gonna start, I'm not gonna worry about that so much, by lowering the green needle first. And we'll fix that working yarn tail as we get a little bit closer. Make sure everything stays wrapped. Feed that into our yarn carrier. Tighten up our yarn there. You don't have to push these down all the way. And just double checking your latches are open. This is a really easy time to miss a closed latch. All right, we're cranking 2 rows after the E-wrap. So that was my first row. And I think I counted those on that first sock I made. So then row 2. Then we're going to start our ribber. So I'm going to bring my ribber cone around. Slowly drop that in, line up this green dot with the green needle. This is the window to add the needles to pick up the bars. So I remove the weight Otherwise, it's wicked hard to pull these needles forward, grab the 3 bars from the E-wrap and then the 2 rows you cranked, starting with that first needle after the green one. And I'm going to pull down a little bit to move that along. Grab all 3, slide them into there. And I'm watching this needle because I'm going to have to put my winged yarn guide up pretty soon. Better do it now before I forget. So very carefully. This is another time it's really easy to close the latch when you're switching the yarn between the 2 carriers. You can bump it, or the yarn might bump it. So watching this, hoping for the best. There's a lot going on. All right, now that I have all the needles in the ribber cone that are gonna rib, I put my weight back on. I'm still cranking slow, watching that all the needles are actually grabbing the yarn, because you can adjust the height of this. Just keep an eye on it. This river system is pretty cool. And I am just doing a total total of 15 rows for this cuff. So that was 15. Now I'm gonna, after the green needle, starting with this first one, I'm going to flip it out and put it back into the cylinder. I guess I should bring the spring out, that'll make it easier. Alright, so that was our last one. We'll put the heel spring back all around the cylinder. We're going to put the yarn back in the standard winged yarn guide. Careful with the latches. They're all open, and then let's remove the ribbon cone. There we go. So there is our 3x1 scalloped ribbing. And now I'm going to get ready to switch the yarns and start our dual feed. Let's see my pattern from my last sock. Let's see. I ended up at 16 rows once my green needle was about 3 o'clock. Check, change yarn. All right, this is what I did. I'm gonna cut the contrasting yarn. Start with my purple color. I'm gonna knit both of them. for a few needles. And then I will later sew the ends in so it's a little more secure. All right, so we've got color number 1 added on this side, and I'm going to reset my row counter and get ready to engage my second feed over here. Let's see, where's my green needle? So I'm going to raise a whole bunch of needles to the left of that green needle. The green needle is going to be the first needle to knit the new color over here.